as you can see.
You were gone for ages, and now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Where have you been anyway? Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly there's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, anyway, you plan to leave.
Yep. Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
Alhaitham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village. Bold of you to question our choices.
Yeah, you're all talk.
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've...
Really? Paimon doesn't believe...
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important...
Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But, before that, you need to
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean, some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru village don't necessarily care which... By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously... The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life...
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority.
Right. You were asking...
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are king...
I think it's been a few days since I last...
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in any...
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act...
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected...
Then, why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why...
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
We're on it!
Salut à tous, on se retrouve aujourd'hui pour une nouvelle vidéo sur Genshin Impact, donc la suite de la semaine dernière. On est au 76e épisode. Avant de continuer, on va aller se mettre bien en heal, hein, les gars. Ça, si jamais ça commence à être chaud, on peut gérer. Hop, et on se retrouve direct ici. Allez, hop. Je me trompe carrément. Ah oui, je me trompe carrément.
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier...
Mr. Alhaitham.
Huh? What do you mean?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answer. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler? Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's before I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like, Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
Yeah, we came here from another nation, so It isn't wrong of you to be weary. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Oh, Hatham told us you have your reasons. It's okay.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in King Deshret. I don't belong to either side, and neither side would want me.
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretend, and then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to any—
You can tell them. I'm sure she'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told them. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It used to be louder and more frequent. But ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often. And when it does—
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. But, because we're in the middle of a desert,
there's really nothing around these parts.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar.
Yeah, let's go.
Allez go, on va à l'hôpital. Du coup l'hôpital... Bon l'hôpital c'est assez loin donc on se retrouvera devant. Ça sera plus facile. Donc on fait une petite ellipse et on se retrouve juste après. Alors on se retrouve devant l'hôpital.
Is this the place?
Alors...
It's in terrible shape. Monsters, watch out!
Wow wow wow. Ok. Comment on l'a lui? Là on le fait tomber. Voilà. Tes renforts arrivent. Ouf. Bien joué J-Luc, allez. Il a beaucoup de vie. Hein. Bon, lui il est mort. Bon, il nous en reste 2. fait exprès. Ok. Bon, là on a géré.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon. Super strong bandits? Or monsters toad?
Y'a quelqu'un là, non? Ah, c'est une fleur, autant pour moi.
He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one.
Ok.
Let's go in and take a...
Bon, normalement. Normalement, j'ai de quoi heal si jamais on nous attend la sortie.
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then... I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. What are you reading? Let Paimon see.
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural...
So, you got that?
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya. How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this. Hey, what good is that gonna do for you? You're acting like one of those annoying grown-ups who go around nagging people to focus on their... Hey, what gives? Shouldn't you be the one providing for Paimon? Oh, right. Thank you for working so hard and earning so much more. If it weren't for you, Paimon would probably still be... Thank you.
Ah, le temps passe, c'est bien, on n'a pas à le faire nous-mêmes, ça c'est cool.
Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that
Ok,
sound?
vraiment quelqu'un qui pleure.
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
Ah bah oui.
There's no way...
Something is off about the interior here.
C'est parti.
As I thought.
Wow. It's like they tucked another... Oh, it looks like there are other
Ah, donc il y a des mécanismes, chercher. Oui, examiner les stèles élémentaires autour de l'hôpital. Alors, il faut rentrer en résonance. Et normalement, si je rentre en résonance, mon perso... Ok, parfait. Donc c'est tout ce que je voulais savoir. Donc là, on fait une petite ellipse et on se retrouve directement là-bas. Et normalement, tout sera bon. Donc j'ai fait des petites recherches. À ce qui paraît, à l'époque, le perso était gratuit, c'était Colley. Du coup, bah nous, on a du retard, forcément. J'espère que je vais pas devoir me rebattre parce que ça va être chiant. après là maintenant j'ai tous mes persos, mais... Alors. Voilà. Oh, je suis content, c'est cool. Ah. Le cerveau c'est pas donné à tout le monde, hein. Je suis pas très vif, hein. Bon là je peux me prendre la tête. Je suis vraiment nul, hein. Ok, parfait. Ok, cool. Bon, du coup, on va pouvoir aller voir à hasard. Alors, c'est bien par là. Hop là.
Look, there's someone over there. Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. Also, what?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the
He's a scholar too?
No. And Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the force. Leaving that question aside for the moment, looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. There are drag marks on the
Il y a des
ground.
traces, ça c'est cool.
They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a car.
Loaded with...
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we've...
Huh?
Allow me to jog your memory. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh! Now that...
Correct. The Academia's, but it isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has... Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret, and look for the notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the but there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the skull?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were... An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But if you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them.
Resource? For
One possibility is that the information in their brains...
extracted?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is...
So, the human brain...
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their project. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted, or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him.
Hyman's a little confused.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge... However, I can't help but wonder. The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail.
You mean you're not even slightly interested interested in...
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects.
Sounds like you're really against all...
Of course. The academia, whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundary. This matter needs to be corrected. Just like...
Wait! Didn't you step in to help because you...
Not to be callous, but there is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru. And the
Bon,
same
le dialogue est long là.
Probably not.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate and...
Hyman's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but...
Though I must say, uniqueness is also an asset.
Wow! That's a great way to think about it.
I'm just a more likable person than her and
Allez.
He won't last long if we leave him here. We'll work out our next step after we return.
Bon, si on rentre au village, c'est parfait. Point de téléportation, se téléporter. Hop là.
We're back!
You must be tired.
What's the situation?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather.
Ok, parfait. Ouais, ça évite un dialogue trop long.
So, at one point in time,
Yep, pretty much.
their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village. Yet,
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our...
Bon, bah nous, on se retrouvera on va attendre la fin de la conversation. Je crois qu'on est au moins sur
Looks
10
like
minutes de
none of you have
conversation là.
realized wherein lies Sino. You're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my...
So what you're saying is... interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one I'll hate.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of them.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required... Simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, if you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia...
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have every so often comes on Yagarbaha Day. On this day, the academia enters new information into the Akasha. I remember seeing the thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activity.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into the But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important.
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destiny.
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is...
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his tenacity.
Ils sont forts l'académie, c'est vraiment peut-être avec les Fatus les plus forts pour l'instant qu'on a rencontrés. Bon après les Fatus ils y sont mêlés forcément, je pense que c'est les ennemis de chaque chapitre, mais bon.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be...
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for...
Oh, so that's how it is! If the academia is trying to avoid Sino... Yep, that's That's right.
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys. After him. Please, wait. I want to go too.
Non, il faut lui dire non.
You want
I want to find Grandpa.
everyone? I leave him in
Mais
your
non, on va
hands.
pas prendre Isaac.
Hey, let's go. From Paimon feels like we're
Allez. C'est parti. On arrête là pour aujourd'hui, donc c'était une bonne vidéo, on s'est battu, on a beaucoup parlé, beaucoup de dialogue. Moi je vous souhaite à tous une bonne semaine, bon courage à tous si vous travaillez, et on se dit à la semaine prochaine pour un nouvel épisode. Ciao!